adorable fur and I love him. He's so beautiful. You make the world better. You're a lot of fun. Hey, what's up creatures? It's Em and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to various viral TikTok animal videos which you helped me to choose in order to give my opinion as an animal educator and former zookeeper. If you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button down below, become part of the creature crew, and also hit that notification bell down there so you don't miss a single upload. TikTok is an interesting phenomenon.
Somebody come get her, she dancing like
Gonna do the two-step and cowboy
Like I said, a very interesting phenomenon, and unfortunately a lot of very fun, quick snaps that we see on TikTok can be misconstrued as a cute clip when actually there's a bit more of a sinister undertone to them. I asked you guys to submit different kinds of videos for me to react to over on my Twitter, so thank you very, very much for that, for participating. If you don't already, you can feel free to follow me over on Twitter. However, I am mostly active over on Instagram. A couple of times a week on my Instagram, I put up a different main feed post with a caption, something that I might be thinking about, something I might be working on, but every single day without fail I always put up a different Instagram story, normally multiple panels, which just brings you behind the scenes of my life as a full-time pet parent as well as an animal educator and former zookeeper. So you can find me over on Instagram at Emzotic Official. If you'd like another way to help support me as a creator, you can check out my very first book, Animal Kind by Emma Locke, which is available worldwide on Amazon. It's also available as an audiobook on apps like Audible, and it's available in stores like Barnes & Noble. Links in my description box. If you are interested in these pet YouTuber reacts videos, I have an entire playlist of them now, so feel free to go down into my description box below and you can just binge watch me talk about different animal videos to your heart's content. Alright. Let's get probably angry. Okay, I'm gonna turn the volume down on this one because there is a lot of fragrant language, I suppose we could call it, in this video. Overall, the commentary is very funny. It is by Aussie Man Reviews, who does not own either the lizard or the cat that we can see in this video, so I just wanted to clarify that he's just doing the commentary over the top. Big fan of Aussie Man Reviews, however, not a fan of the video he is actually reviewing. So what I can see here, there's this black cat and it's interested in going and exploring what this bearded dragon is doing in this bathtub, which has very minimal water. So as far as bathing your lizards, especially bearded dragons, it's a wonderful thing to do. A lot of bearded dragons will soak their lizards. A lot of bearded dragons will soak their lizards. A lot of bearded dragon owners will actually soak their lizards because it helps them with hydration. It can also help with bowel movements as well, and it can also help to remove any stuck shed that hasn't come off during the natural shedding process. So I think it's fantastic that this owner was actually bathing their bearded dragon. The water level looks fantastic. I can't tell what the temperature is, but the bearded dragon seemed very, very comfortable in the bathtub until the cat came along. He slid down into the bathtub area and subsequently started having a bit of a panic attack and trying to exit the water, because I'm sure many of you know a lot of cats dislike water. It's not natural for lots of cats to swim. There are of course exceptions, but a lot of cats do not like to swim. They do not like to get wet. So this cat's naturally trying to exit, but in the process it has pushed the bearded dragon away. I don't think that this bearded dragon will get hurt from this situation, but it could have been avoided very easily, and it looks like the person who was filming this happen realized that this was going to happen. So personally, I would not be comfortable in this situation. Cats' claws in general carry a lot of bacteria, and although it's very unlikely due to the cat trying to exit the bathtub, but also having moved the bearded dragon away with its back legs, I don't think that it would have scratched the bearded dragon. However, because they do have a lot of bacteria under their claws, most small animals, if they do get nicked by a cat's claws, it can be a death sentence for them. So I personally would not feel comfortable ever having a feline out and around my small lizard, just because it might end badly for the lizard, even unintentionally so. Overall, it's not the most problematic video I've ever seen, but certainly it could have been avoided. So that's my 2 cents on that particular video. Let's move along to the next one, which was sent to me actually by a friend of mine. Right, this next video that we're going to be looking at is going to be featuring 2 adorable hedgehogs, again in a bathtub. There seems to be already a theme going on here today. This video has a whopping 58.7 million views, so let's dive on in, if you'll excuse the pun. I already don't like this at all. Right, that's a very short video. So the uploader, though I don't know if they are the creator, the uploader is at the Pet Collective. It's naturally a huge account on TikTok. They put up a lot of pet-centric videos, but I really don't like this video at all. Now, with these hedgehogs that we can see here, these are African pygmy hedgehogs. They are very legal to keep. They are very common to keep as a small exotic pet. They naturally come from a very dry and arid environment. Now, the word African pygmy hedgehog might make you think that hedgehogs are not built to swim, because it's Africa, it's very hot. But Africa also has very, very wet seasons as well, and it is in a lot of animals' best interest to be able to actually be able to swim. And African pygmy hedgehogs can swim very, very well. I wouldn't say they naturally gravitate towards the water and they want to be spending a lot of time in the water, but they can swim. And in captivity, what you might not know about African pygmy hedgehogs is they do something called anointing. So when they find an interesting fragrance, something that smells interesting, it could be almost anything, they will often try and coat their spines in this scent. For example, I've seen it happen with pineapple. Some African pygmy hedgehogs will chew on a little bit of pineapple and then they'll mush it up in their mouths and then start coating it all over their spines. It's almost like they're trying to mask their original scent. I don't know particularly why they do this. I have a feeling it is to do with trying to disguise their scent from predators, or it could even be something completely different that I'm not aware of. It could be some kind of scent to entice a mate, or it could just be because they're spiny little weirdos who want to smell slightly different. So there's a variety of reasons and theories as to why hedgehogs do anoint themselves. I personally think it's a defense mechanism to stop predators from being able to detect them and maybe make them smell less appetizing. However, the reason why I have an issue with this particular video is because it gives the illusion that what's happening is very cute. There are these cute little rubber rings that the owner, I suppose, is putting on the African pygmy hedgehogs. The issue for me is it inhibits the African pygmy hedgehogs from actually being able to move. So their fight or flight response, naturally they're trying to exit the water. You can already see they're not particularly happy to be in this situation. That rubber ring is going to just make them panic, and that's exactly what's happened here. The African pygmy hedgehogs have panicked and then they've actually floated onto their back, which leaves their full belly exposed. Now, given that the defense mechanism of a hedgehog is to be able to roll into a ball and protect its underbelly, because that is its most vulnerable area, this is a very vulnerable position for these hedgehogs to be in whilst they are already in a heightened state of panic. So I personally do not like this video. I think although the idea was kind of cute, it would have been nice if maybe the rubber rings were just sort of floating around and we could see the hedgehogs engage with them in a more natural way, like exploring them. I think that would have been a lot cuter. But to see them on their back, what we can see right here in this freeze frame, this is panic. And I don't think it's fair to the African pygmy hedgehogs. However, people do bathe their African pygmy hedgehogs. It's a good thing to do to help to get up some of the muck that gets stuck in between the spines. And certain kinds of baths can be good and hydrating for the skin. People like to use oatmeal baths for them, similar to ferrets who also have delicate skin. So overall, it's again not the most problematic video, but I don't think that it deserves the recognition it has as being a cute video. I personally would not like to see this replicated by anybody. This next video that we're going to be looking at is not the most viral of videos. However, the animal itself is a very virally shared animal that we see very commonly on the internet, especially a couple of years ago in sort of the very early days of YouTube. This particular animal was always being seen everywhere. It is, of course, the slow loris, which is just a gorgeous animal that I have been so privileged to see out in the wild in its natural habitat. So let's have a look at this video and I'll tell you what I think. It's titled Slow Loris Eating a Rice Ball. I hate it. I quite like slow lorises and rice balls, but together, no, and I'll go into it in a moment. They're just such cute animals. I can see why most people would find this a really, really cute video. We have an adorable, just such a sweet animal, slow loris, and it's so daintily holding on to and eating a rice ball. It's like it accepts the rice ball and it starts daintily eating it whilst holding what looks like a fork. I think, I could be wrong, yes it is a fork, and just giving you those big gorgeous watery eyes. Now I really don't like these videos because even though slow loris are beautiful and on the surface it looks like this slow loris is a well cared for perhaps pet, there is a really very problematic illegal wildlife trade when it comes to keeping slow lorises. Slow lorises come from Southeast Asia, and they are actually poached because videos like this made them such popular pets. About 7-8 years ago, I would say, it was the forefront of what made slow lorises so popular. There was also another video where a slow loris was being tickled, and there was also another video where a slow loris was being handed an umbrella. I don't know if they were related videos. I don't think they were, which again just goes to show you that a lot of people do actually keep slow lorises as pets. Now the issue is there's not very successful breeding of these animals in captivity. They're notoriously difficult to breed. They're actually an incredibly vulnerable species and they are endangered. Now an issue when it comes to keeping these animals as pets is they are a primate, however they are a venomous primate. In the wild, the slow loris will eat different things and different invertebrates which give it a naturally occurring toxin, and the way that slow loris are able to protect themselves is they have these very, very sharp canine teeth, and then when they're threatened they actually lift up their arms like this and get to their elbows and they start to lick the inside of their elbows because they actually secrete a toxin which is created from what they actually eat. Their body processes it and becomes a toxin. They coat that on their teeth and then they can bite. So in effect, they do become a venomous creature. Unfortunately, when they are poached, poachers know that these animals have this toxin, and one of the things that they do in the pet trade is they actually take something as crude as just nail clippers or pliers and they pull out those teeth so that these animals are unable, number one, to defend themselves, but number two, to hurt the person who would be willing to buy them and keep them as a pet. It makes them a more appealing kind of pet because a lot of people don't necessarily want to get bitten by the animals that they are keeping as a pet. Don't get ferrets if that's you. So already the process leading up to this video is very, very cruel. Now once a slow loris has entered captivity, they cannot go back to the wild. It is very well documented that once they have adjusted to life in captivity, they stop producing those toxins and you can't replicate it. Even if you start taking different foods from the wild and bringing them in, you still can't replicate it. So in essence, even if this animal were rescued at some point and lived in a sanctuary, they can never be returned to the wild because they lose the ability to create that toxin. So it's very, very sad. The fact of the matter is this animal probably has lost its teeth in a very crude way. It's not being fed the correct diet. No slow loris would eat anything so starchy in the wild. This is a rice ball. It's completely manufactured. There is no way that this arboreal creature would go down into like a rice paddy field and create rice balls for itself to eat. It's just not going to happen. Overall, I really dislike this video, and if anyone has ever considered a slow loris as a pet, please don't do it. Even if you are offered it, they are offered on occasion, especially in the Far East. I know I have a lot of Asian followers as well. It's a very cruel thing to keep them in captivity. They live a very, very miserable life, no matter how happy you think that they are. There are a plethora of other exotic animals which are bred specifically for the exotic animal trade, which are just wonderful, like sugar gliders, for example, which make far better pets, more engaging, easier to look after, cheaper, and easier to come by than something like a slow loris. So please don't participate in this trend. Thank you. We're taking a break right here. I'm going to show you someone very cute. Niffler is currently sleeping. Hi, Niff. Niffler is growing in his winter coat, so that takes a lot out of him, more so than usual, and he's just asleep. I think Dobby's up here. Nope, no, she's not. You guys don't get to see Dobby today, but you do get to see Niffler in there. And let me see who else might be available. Oh, I see a Toke Gecko's foot back there. Hello, Okitoke. Also, some of you commented in my last video about how big my dog is getting, because last time you saw him, he was a bit of a puppy. Now he's not so much of a puppy. Come here. Everyone wants to say hi. Come and show your gorgeous face. Oh my goodness. Hi, Cubes. This is Cuba. Hi. He's not scared of being up on my lap. His ears flatten. They're normally pricked up like a fox, but they flatten when he knows he's going to get attention. He's just very cute and cuddly. He is a male Eurasian. He's just very, very sweet, aren't you? Are you just a big bear? I love him. He is a big floofer. Oh, and if you guys don't already know, I put up a video on Saturday which showed me creating these enclosures. So if you want to go have a look at that, then feel free. Oh, we're going back to the water now. We're going to be looking at a TikTok which features an axolotl, a very interesting looking axolotl, I can see. Let's have a look at this video.
Alright, so in this video we're going to go into a little bit more detail about what a FireFly Axolotl actually is. I'm so happy that a lot of you guys are super excited about him, but the thing is, this is not a genetic trait. This is something that's done in the laboratory setting. So basically the tail that is on Pua is actually from a sibling of Pua, so it's from a completely different axolotl. So from here up is a bluegill Lucy, and from here down is a melanoid. So while Pua was still an embryo, so still in an egg, like these guys, which apparently I have like 5 that have hatched, so that's a different video happening, a biologist removed the tail of the melanoid axolotl and put it onto Pua, and took Pua's original tail and put it onto the melanoid axolotl. There is a yin to Pua's yang. So while this is a really cool feature to have on an axolotl, it's not something you can breed for, and that is Pua's food. Stop asking. And somebody in my comments asked if I was going to make fireflies. No. So we'll just enjoy Pua and how cute Pua is, and Pua's little, you know, melanoid tail that we all love so much. Bye, Pua.
Okay. I love axolotl. I really do. I've kept them. I've bred them. They're wonderful. This is Squink over here, who was my favorite axolotl. FireFly axolotls, however, Now, every now and then when it comes to axolotl and also a bunch of other animals, you see this kind of genetic effect. This over here is a chimera. It's where an animal is literally split down the middle, and it has the appearance of 2 different animals. That happens during the development where 2 different embryos fuse together. So that is what chimerism is, and you can also see a very similar pattern, though not quite as defined as a chimera, and it's called pieballism. So say in a ball python you get piebalds, which have an interesting kind of effect, like a sploshy kind of effect. This is neither of those things. This is a very highly unnatural process whereby in a laboratory setting the tail of an axolotl is taken, literally just like spliced off, I believe with just what do you call those surgical razors? Scalpels. Thank you. Everybody who was thinking it, you willed it to me. So you literally just get a scalpel and remove the tail and switch it with another axolotl's tail. Now, you might be wondering, how come that doesn't kill the axolotl? Now, I don't know what the statistics are for the survival rate of creating a FireFly axolotl. To be honest, I don't want to know because you don't see that many of them, which makes me think that the success rate is very small. It's also probably why they are super expensive. But but the reason why it is semi-successful in these creatures is because axolotl have the ability to regenerate limbs. So an axolotl can lose some of its gills, it can lose full arms and legs and even tails for the most part, and regenerate them to be fully functional limbs. It's why scientists for decades have been studying the axolotl, because they have regenerative abilities, and they can be useful potentially sometime in helping us to regenerate limbs. Like, that's what the research is all about. But this is not research. This here is purely just being awful and playing God. I don't believe that anybody should be interfering with what are already healthy animals and then messing around with their aesthetic to make them more appealing to people to buy. Axolotl are so interesting. There's no reason that we have to go cutting them up and sticking pieces of one onto another one. I mean, if one of them was born without a tail and another one wasn't going to make it because it was just, you know, defective in some way, then fair enough, try and save the other one, and fair enough, then I could probably support cutting one tail off of one that's already going to die and sticking it on one that's hopefully going to live. But this, the fact that she said there is a yin to Pua's yang, that they're alive and well, and you've just switched the tails, like, why? What? Why would you do that? Stop it. Stop interfering with animals in ways that does not serve them and is purely for our own selfish gratification. That is so wrong. Highly dislike. Interesting, but highly dislike. Moving along. Okay, I'm already laughing at this last TikTok because it was sent to me to be reacted to, but it's actually a video created by a friend of mine. Let's talk about it. Here we go. Now, the reason this video was sent to me a couple of times is, number one, you guys know that I'm just all about ferrets. I love ferrets. I have 2 ferrets. I've kept ferrets for a very long time, both working stock as well as pets, so hunters as well as pets. But a couple of you who sent this to me thought that this ferret might potentially be in some kind of danger or potentially scared. So let's talk about this video. This video is by The Modern Ferret. I can't. Oh my goodness. I think this video is a nice one to actually close up today's videos on, because this ferret is having a great time. Let me just tell you, these balls, they're like ball pit balls. They're very, very light, but the way that ferrets are, just naturally, they are hunters. They like to chase things, and certain ferrets love chasing balls. We saw at the very beginning there, this ferret actually went for a little blue mouse toy, but going down the stairs and being chased by all of these different bouncing balls is just, this ferret's having a great time. Everything about its body language, which might look like it's scared because its mouth is open, is actually how ferrets play. They do something what's known as a weasel war dance, where their mouths are open, they'll charge around, they'll bunch up and slink out and just zoom around the place, and their heads will twist and turn with their mouths open, gaping, just looking to playfully bite whatever is near them, usually another ferret. There's nothing wrong with this video. It's a very wholesome video. They're providing a lot of enrichment for this ferret, who's actually a deaf ferret, which might also help to explain some of the surprise around the ferret's expression. But to be completely honest with you, ferrets don't really rely that heavily on their sense of hearing. Most of them are like selective listeners, if you know what I mean. So ferret owners out there, you'll know what I mean. They can be selective about what they want to hear, typically the word no. But this ferret is having a great time. I see nothing wrong with this video whatsoever, and I personally know Haley, and she's great. She really loves her ferrets very much. So if you want to go and support her, feel free over on TikTok and Instagram at The Modern Ferret. They actually have a YouTube channel as well, which they've just started, which is ferret centric. So if you're interested in different things to do with ferret care, definitely go and say hi to them and let them know that Emzotic sent you over, because it'd be just nice for them to know where people came from. But yeah, that's a great place to leave this video. So overall, the FireFly video annoyed me the most, because that is highly highly unnatural. If you'd like to join in the conversation, leave a comment down below. For the first 24 hours after this video goes live, I'll be answering as many comments as I possibly can, so please feel free to leave a comment if you have a question, if you have a thoughtful nugget piece of information you want to add. That made no sense whatsoever, but if you wanted to add your own points of view to do with any of these videos, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in another video soon. Bye!